The Legend of Jonah and the Leviathan, a tale of Aquamarine Bay. Before we dive into this incredible adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with your thoughts on the Leviathan, and share this legendary tale with your friends. You won't want to miss the journey ahead. In the distant past, nestled along the rugged coastline of Aquamarine Bay, there was a village shrouded in whispers of a mysterious creature. A creature so fearsome and enigmatic that its name struck both awe and terror into the hearts of all who dared to speak of it. This was the Leviathan, a sea serpent of such enormous proportions that it could swallow ships whole with a single swipe of its tail. For centuries, the villagers lived in its shadow, with the stories of its ferocity and power passed down through generations. Some believed the Leviathan to be a monstrous beast capable of wrecking entire fleets, while others held that it was a guardian of the ocean, its watchful eyes keeping the waters safe and balanced. The villagers of Aquamarine Bay, whose livelihoods depended on the vast expanse of the sea, were divided. The fishermen told stories of near encounters, of ships vanishing into the depths without a trace. Sailors spoke in hushed tones of a creature so vast it could stir the very ocean with a flick of its fin. Yet, there were others who revered the creature, considering it a divine protector sent by the sea gods themselves. They whispered that the Leviathan was not a beast to be feared, but one to be respected, an ancient being, a keeper of secrets that only the brave could uncover. Among the people of the village, there was one who was consumed by the stories, a young boy named Jonah. From an early age, Jonah was drawn to the sea with a magnetic pull. He would sit for hours by the water, watching the waves crash against the rocks, imagining what mysteries lay beneath the surface. The old fishermen, their eyes glazed with the weight of years spent on the water, would often gather at the village square to recount their tales of the Leviathan. Jonah would listen intently, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and wonder as they described the creature's enormous size, its scales that glowed like molten silver, and its eyes that held the wisdom of the ages. To Jonah, the Leviathan was not a myth but a calling. He felt that his destiny was tied to it, that he too was meant to find the creature and unlock its secrets. As the years passed, Jonah became a skilled sailor, mastering the winds and the waves with a natural grace. But no matter how far he sailed, the shadow of the Leviathan lingered in his heart. He sailed beyond the horizon, across waters where the stars seemed to bleed into the ocean. But still, the beast eluded him. The thought of encountering the Leviathan filled him with both dread and exhilaration. For he knew, in the deepest recesses of his soul, that to meet the Leviathan would be to face the greatest test of his life. The sea was a cruel and capricious mistress, and the Leviathan was her fiercest child. One fateful evening, as a storm gathered on the horizon, the skies above Aquamarine Bay darkened, and the wind howled like a wild beast in the night. The villagers huddled in their homes, listening to the fury of the storm as it raged against the village. Jonah stood by the window, his gaze fixed on the sea. He felt it, the call of the Leviathan, stronger than ever before. And then, as if by fate, a figure appeared in the storm. It was Captain Silas, an old sailor known for his many voyages and legendary tales of the ocean. His ship, the Seafarer's Pride, was said to be the sturdiest vessel in the bay, built to withstand even the most fearsome tempests. "Jonah," the captain called, his voice cutting through the storm. "I've heard the whispers. The Leviathan has been sighted near the abyssal trench at the edge of the world. It's waiting for you, lad. Are you ready to face the beast?" Jonah's heart thundered in his chest. The storm seemed to quiet, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Without a second thought, Jonah ran to the docks. The villagers watched in silence, some fearful, others hopeful, as he and Captain Silas set sail on a journey that would become legend. Are you enjoying the tale so far? If you're captivated by Jonah's adventure, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave your thoughts on the Leviathan in the comments, and share this thrilling story with others who dare to explore the mysteries of the sea. For days, the seafarers' pride battled through treacherous waters. Storms struck with unrelenting fury, and the sea itself seemed to rise up against them. Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating the dark expanse of water that stretched endlessly in all directions. Jonah felt the weight of the sea, its power and unpredictability, but he pressed on. Captain Silas, though old, was a seasoned sailor, and together they navigated through tempests and uncharted waters, driven by the legend that had consumed them both. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they arrived at the edge of the abyssal trench, a place where the sea descended into a seemingly endless chasm. The water was dark, almost black, and the air was thick with an otherworldly stillness. The crew of the Seafarer's Pride stood at the ready, their eyes scanning the horizon. And then, in the silence of the night, they saw it. The Leviathan. Rising from the depths, the great serpent emerged, its massive body coiling through the water like a living mountain. Its eyes glowed with an ancient, knowing light, and its scales shimmered like liquid silver, reflecting the moonlight in a dazzling array of colors. The creature's size was beyond comprehension. It dwarfed their ship, its length stretching far into the depths, its body a mosaic of power and grace. It moved with a fluidity that defied nature, its presence both majestic and terrifying. The sea seemed to bow to it, and even the winds held their breath. Jonah stood frozen, his heart pounding in his chest. He had imagined this moment 1,000 times, but now that it had come, he was overwhelmed. The Leviathan circled the ship, its massive tail cutting through the water with a force that sent waves crashing against the hull. The air was thick with the sound of its presence, an ancient, primal force that seemed to echo across the oceans. As the Leviathan approached, Jonah felt a strange calm wash over him. It was as if the creature understood him, as if it had been waiting for him. And in that moment, he realized that the Leviathan was not the monster of legends, but something far older, far more mystical. It was a being of the sea, an ancient spirit that held the secrets of the world's oceans within its heart. Its eyes, deep and fathomless, held the wisdom of the ages, and Jonah felt a connection to it, an unspoken bond that transcended time and space. The Leviathan did not attack. Instead, it lingered, its massive form encircling the ship, watching Jonah with its ancient gaze. And then, as if satisfied, it slowly descended back into the depths, disappearing into the darkness of the trench, leaving behind only the echo of its presence in a sea forever changed. Jonah returned to Aquamarine Bay a different man. The restless youth who had once dreamed of the Leviathan was now a man who had seen the creature with his own eyes, who had felt its power and its grace. He became the village's protector of the sea, dedicated to preserving the balance between the land and the ocean. The legend of the Leviathan lived on, carried in the stories of the old fishermen and the songs of the sailors. But for Jonah, it was more than a tale. It was a part of him, an experience that would shape his life forever. Captain Silas, too, carried the memory of the encounter until his last breath, telling the tale of the great sea serpent to anyone who would listen, ensuring that the Leviathan's legacy would endure through the ages. Thank you for joining Jonah on his legendary journey to find the Leviathan. If you were amazed by this story, don't forget to subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments, and share this with your friends who love epic adventures. Stay tuned for more tales of the sea and beyond. Who knows what wonders lie hidden beneath the waves? Until next time, keep exploring.
In the abyss where silence reigns, Jonah's heart felt ancient strain.